Okay, so this is level 1, solving systems. You did a lot of this last year, but I just want to give you a quick recap. This is the first part of level 2s that we'll do. So solving by substitution and then solving by elimination. So those are two ways that you can solve systems. The third way would be just by graphing two lines and finding where they intersect. That would also be called a solution to the systems. So in A, if we had a graph, these would be very easy to graph. Instead, since we don't have a coordinate plane, let's go ahead and just substitute. Since they're both equal to y, we can set them equal to each other. So 2x minus 3 equals 5. And then it's just a matter of solving for x. So plus 3 and plus 3. So you got 2x to equal 8 and divide by 2. So x is going to equal 4. Okay. Then we got to get the y coordinate. So we can substitute back into either equation. So let's go ahead and just substitute back into the first one. So we'll have y equals 2 times 4, because that's what x is, minus 3. And when you evaluate that, you will get 5. Or we could have just looked down here to find out what y equals. So your final answer you want to write as a coordinate point is 4, 5. So that's substitution. When typically you have just a y equals or an x equals, you want to use substitution. Let's go ahead and look at B. B, you don't have a y equals or an x equals, but in either equation, it would be really easy to solve for. So I'm going to take the second equation and solve for y, because I just have to move the 2x to the other side by subtracting. So now that I have y equals negative 2x plus 5, I'm going to take this and substitute it in for y in that first equation. And now I'm going to simplify. And in order to solve for x, I got to do your favorite thing of factoring. So this will be x minus 5 and x minus 1. So x is going to equal 5 and x is going to equal 1. So those are my two solutions for the x's. And now, in order to get the y's, I'm going to substitute back in. Let's go just to the bottom equation and see what happens. So 2 times 5 plus y equals 5. So we'll get 10 plus y equal 5. So y equals negative 5. So one solution would be 5, negative 5. The second solution, you'd plug in now 1. 2 times 1 plus y equals 5. So you get 2 plus y equals 5, or y equals 3. So your second answer would be 1, 3. So just like any quadratic that we solved, we'd had two answers. Anytime you have an x squared or a y squared, you're going to get more than one answer. And so your answers are here in blue. Okay? So you just pick one of the x values that you get and substitute it back in. Okay, and last but not least here, again, this would be a great case to solve using substitution, because I have a y equals already solved for. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute it in there. So I have 3x plus 36 minus 9x over 3 equals 12. Now be careful with this that you don't break the math. In this term here, you've got three numbers, 36, 9, and 3. Since all three of them are divisible by 3, I can simplify all three of them. So I'll have 3x plus 12 minus 3x equals 12. Well, if I combine my like terms, 3x minus 3x, that's 0x. So I'll have 12 equals 12. Well, I lost my variables. I don't know where they went, but I have 12 equals 12. Now that's a true statement. 12 does equal 12. When you get something like that, your answer is going to be infinitely many solutions. Okay, infinite, if I can spell, the many solutions. Okay, that means there's multiple x values and multiple y values that will satisfy this equation. Okay, so that's a recap on solving by substitution. Now here's a recap on solving by elimination. So you have 2x minus 5y equals 10 and x plus 3y equals 16. Now, I see that the second one, it could be easy to solve for x, and you could definitely do that, but I'm just going to take you through an example on how to solve by substitution first. Because sometimes if we always solve, I'm going to take you through how to solve by elimination. Sometimes if you always solve by substitution, it gets messy with all your fractions. So if you have x plus 3y equals 16, and 2x minus 5y equals 10, I want to add these two equations together to get a variable to cancel out. If I did that now, I would still have 3x minus 2y equals 26. I want a variable to cancel out. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to multiply the second one by negative 2. And as long as I multiply everything in that second equation by negative 2, I don't break math. So I'm going to rewrite the top one, and now I'm going to distribute negative 2 to every single term in that second equation. So now if I add these two together, 2x plus negative 2x is 0. Negative 5y plus negative 6y is negative 11y, and 10 plus negative 32 is negative 22. So y is just going to equal 2. So now what you want to do is you can substitute y back into either equation. The first one, the second one, or even the one that you multiplied the negative 2 by. It doesn't matter. I'm going to pick the second one down here just because it's got smaller numbers and less numbers. So x plus 3 times 2 equals 16. And I'm going to continue to solve this and get x equals 10. So your final answer is written in black, 10, 2. All right, one more example. Now we've got x squareds in here. Same thing that we want to do. We want to eliminate a variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this so I've got the x squareds in line and the y's in line. So I'm going to take this first one here and just write it so the y comes first, taking the sign in front of each number and just moving it around. Okay, so now if I add these two together, I see that negative x squared plus x squared is 0. So that's good. So I don't have to multiply anything. 2y minus y is y, and 25 plus negative 15 is 10. So I already got one answer, y equals 10. Now I'm just going to substitute that in. I'll use the second one to do that. So 2 times 10, if I could write, minus x squared equals 25. So I'm just going to simplify this. But wait, I have an x squared equal a negative. That can't happen. So I'm going to try the first equation and see if that makes a difference. I still get x squared equal a negative number. And I know that if I keep on solving, I can't square root a negative number. So I'm going to go ahead and say that there's no real solution. So go ahead and try the practice level 2 part 1 practice and then the exit quiz.